welcome to this episode of Sports Mecca. I'm Catherine Donnelly, and I'm joined here with my friend, Mr. Alfred at Talaferro.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
It's been a while since we've been at the desk together, hasn't it?
Been a while. A lot of weather that's been kind of getting
bringing us
away
down.
Of us, you know.
But we're going to get past that, and we're going to talk about some hard-hitting news that has been hitting our football team recently. A.J. Johnson and Michael Williams were just recently in court the other day for their aggravated rape charges. They both pled not guilty. They have a trial date set for August 24th, but we obviously will be keeping an eye on that and keep you guys updated.
Yeah, keeping it in football news. Also, we will be losing one of our wide receivers, Big Warden. According to his Twitter account, said he will be leaving the University of Tennessee and heading to California. If that is true, good luck, Vic, to you in the future. We're just kind of stacked at that position, Captain.
Yes, and we wish him the best, absolutely.
We wish you the best. But let's get into players who will be, on the field doing their thing.
That's right, for spring, that's right.
Yeah, the baseball team, our UT men's baseball team wrapped up that series with Grand Canyon.
They did, and they also played ETSU.
Yes, they did. And they also won that one as well. So they're getting into a little comfort zone now. They start the season off. They were 5-5, and now they're like 7-5 as a team. They're getting it together.
Right. What I noticed about their series against Grand Canyon was they struggled offensively, but they had great pitching. On Friday, Brett Marks got the fans queso. They get so many, they get free queso. Right, they get queso from Mo, so I'm sure the fans really appreciated that. But also on Sunday, Kyle Serrano had a really great game.
Yes, he did.
A couple of them are showing out.
Christian Stewart.
Yes.
Got to give one of our producers, Paxton, shout out for putting me up on him. He is a beast. He got two home runs on the season.
Yeah, on Friday, the game on Friday against Grand Canyon, he had a homer that set them over the edge, and so they didn't have to worry in the final inning. So
not only can he hit with power, he got a lot of speed to him, Captain. I really like him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one to watch.
Speaking of our team, they got to get hyped some kind of way.
Right.
Yeah, they got to walk up to the plate and knock it out of the fence, hopefully, for our Vols. And our own producer, Paxton Elroy, talks a little bit about the walk-up song. Here you go.
A base hit by Kristen Stewart, strikeout by Kyle Serrano, and music. Or, in baseball terminology, walkout songs.
Number 10, A.J. Simcox.
At every home baseball game in Lindsey Nelson Stadium, the fans get a 20-second look at what tune that player chooses for his walkout song. Left-handed pitcher Andy Cox says it's all about the added rhythm.
My song's Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. I just like to have a good little beat to just kind of dance in my head to while I'm pitching to get me in a rhythm, get me going before I get out there on the mound.
Whether it be that extra push to send the ball over the scoreboard or the rhythm that the player needs to calm his nerves, these strategically chosen songs add a little spice to Lindsey Nelson and also give fans a chance to see the personalities of their favorite Vols.
Some walkout songs cause laughs.
Might have to say Maggia's Magic Stick.
But sometimes the good old throwbacks can be the ones to get the fans on their feet.
I would have to say Brody's, the Fresh and So Clean song. Just makes you feel good, makes you want to get up and dance.
So head on over to Lindsey Nelson Stadium and become familiar with these SEC players. For UT Today, I'm Paxton Elrod.
Yeah, Catherine. I love that.
That was so fun.
I just love that.
Now I'm gonna go and be like, whose walkout sign is that? What are they playing for their walkout sign? That was really fun.
Christian Stewart comes out to the Kevin Gates I Don't Get Tired of. I gotta love that one, Catherine.
That's your favorite song.
That's my favorite song.
So that gives you even more of a reason to root for him.
I gotta root for Christian Stewart. That's my new favorite baseball player now. Thanks to Paxton.
Good. Thanks, Pax, for informing Alfred about who he wants to pick from now on. So let's take a break from baseball and move over to softball. Ladies had a big week this week. They had they had games this weekend, and they also had an invitational, and they had a doubleheader on Tuesday against Illinois State.
At a couple of the games.
I was there for Tuesday's game against Illinois State. First game, the ladies killed it. They won 19-2, and then the second game, our own Aaron Gabriel had a 16-strike no-hitter. That's the 46th no-hitter in Lady Vol softball history.
That's a lot of no-hitters.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal, though. Yeah.
That's a big deal for Aaron Gabriel. And, oh, my God, like, they just killed it that game.
Annie Aldred had 2 home runs in one of the games. That was a 19-2 demolition.
Yeah.
Also, their coach, Karen Weekly, got her 900
wins. That's right.
big.
That's
but, Captain,
right.
the thing I like about this team, they get out to those quick starts. Now, the thing with them is sustaining in SEC play, because that's when they kind of get, you know.
Well, and obviously because when you get into SEC play,
Yeah,
the competition is tougher.
Competition's
So,
tougher.
it's a good thing that they're showing this much strength early, but will they be able to continue that? That's something they'll have to keep our eye on.
Yeah, keep in mind, this team got to that championship game 2
Right,
years ago.
right.
So there's a lot of veterans now. You know,
Can
they
they
were
get
young
back?
when they got there. Now they're kind of older. I think they can get back. What you
Okay,
think?
I agree. I think we need to keep an eye on them. I think they're a contender, definitely, for sure. So we are going to touch on some Vol basketball, which I know is on everyone's mind, when we get back, and we're also going to talk more about March Madness. We'll be back after this break.
The authority on the origins and composition of meteorites and scientist on the first spacecraft missions to Mars is one person, Dr. Hap McSween, distinguished professor at the University of Tennessee. A rock flying through space is also a specialty of Tennessee alum R.A. Dickey, big league knuckleballer and best-selling author. At UT, we appreciate and encourage unique and creative minds.
The University of Tennessee, Big Orange, big ideas.
My favorite part about being a Vol and being a part of the Vol family is that we're one Tennessee.
Being from Tennessee and being able to go to school at the University of Tennessee was an honor for me.
My scholarship means so much to me. It's really a blessing.
My message to the Tennessee Fund donors would be just to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to pursue my dreams.
We appreciate everything that you guys do for us.
Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me and my teammates.
Vol fans, there's one penalty that is not reviewable.
Where's your orange? It's Friday. And you're not wearing orange. You gonna really come out here with no orange on?
Do not forget to support your Vols by wearing your orange on Fridays.
Got to be kidding me.
Show us your orange and avoid getting a penalty flag thrown your way on Big Orange Friday.
Come on, man.
And we are back, and we are talking basketball. It's on everybody's mind. How is UT going to do?
Tournament time.
Tournament time. What's
Can
up?
we make it? You were actually at the senior day finale for
That's
the
right.
Vols
I
men's.
was. Galen Campbell, Brandon, and Josh Richardson were all honored. As you can see, emotions were high for everyone involved. I mean, Coach Tyndall as well, and just the rest of the players. So you have something to say. Just say it.
It's
just
funny,
say it.
you know, with all that being said, and how do we go out and play that bad?
I know.
For Josh Richardson, his last game, he gave it all this year.
It was painful. Like, I was there, and I wanted to leave because I didn't want to see our players end that way. And I'm most upset for Josh Richardson because at a point at the game when he was taken out, he was so overcome with emotion that I think obviously it was because he was ending, and it was because it was on that note.
You know, it's funny. This might not be the end of his Vol Thompson Bowling career.
Right.
If they can win a few games in the tournament and they can get a higher seed in the NIT, this is a long shot. He could possibly play one more game here in Thompson Bowling.
Is the NIT really a possibility, though? Is that really something that we can pull off?
You got to win 2 games and compete in the third one to get to NIT because they just had too many inconsistent losses. And then you turn around and beat an LSU team who's projected to be in the tournament, which makes no sense.
Okay, but hold on. Let's just take a look at what happened in this South Carolina game. And you tell me, based on what you see here, if we can make it into the NIT based on our last game at South Carolina. Okay.
I mean, what do you mean? I think this team can get hot. I mean, Kevin Punter can knock down shots. He's going to be the leader next year, so, I mean, it's a good time to get going now.
I'm sorry, but if right here, I'm sorry, if Derek Reese is the person that...
don't get me started.
Okay,
please.
I'm not going to get you started, but this is the thing about Josh Richardson. He was on and off again.
Yeah,
and we can't have him do that. he needs to be a leader in our team. And there were just too many opportunities where South Carolina just got the upper hand on us.
He's worn out, Captain.
They were left wide open in shots that they shouldn't have been. Our defense was lacking. If that's the way that we're going to be playing in the tournament, then I don't think that maybe beating Vandy is a possibility, but getting past that, I just really don't think that's the case.
Just don't see that emotional connect with this team. Every game, like, with that being senior day, like, the other guys on the team should have been playing their hardest for Josh.
I agree.
For Galen. Like,
I agree.
that should have been the game you showed us. Maybe we can get some momentum going into the tournament. Also, Josh Richardson was named All-SEC first team, All-SEC first defense, and All-SEC community. I mean, teams know to clamp down on him. He's the only guy that can get his own shot.
And if he's the only one that's doing anything, and everyone's focus is on him, then someone else has to step up. And that did not happen.
Kevin Punter, a la Armani Moore, who played a good game last game, but just got to have some consistency.
Okay, so what exactly needs to happen against Vandy on Thursday?
We got to win. We don't even have to, at this point, we just got to win games. Can't think about the next day because, dealing with us,
it's a survival thing.
It's survival.
You've got to focus on the now.
Got to win 2 games, Catherine. Got to make it to that weekend, hopefully. And then we could, possibly have a chance at the NIT tournament. The tournament's out the question unless we win this bad boy.
Yeah, and like Kentucky.
Let's be honest.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, Kentucky's still there, and they still are.
Let's not get that far.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's happening with our men. Let's transition to our ladies. So they had that big loss to South Carolina in the final of the tournament there. So what happened? Why did we lose by 16 points?
Captain, it's crazy that I'm saying this. It literally was basically the first game that they played against South Carolina.
Yeah.
We got out-rebounded.
It was a repeat.
Yeah, and we got outplayed late. I mean, in the second half, that was a 17-4 run.
17-4 run. I was just like, wait, surely to goodness, it'll get better. Like, we'll get something. No.
Ariel Massengale 0 for 6. That can't happen.
That can't happen.
That can't happen.
And they definitely missed Izzy, too.
Yeah. We know her leadership
and
what she provides on the court. I mean, Ariel had such a big game in her senior day. Right before that, I was expecting for her to have a little momentum and knock down it. If she knocks down a couple of those threes in the first half, it's a completely different game.
A completely different game. The score would have been different, and that probably would have pushed us in a different by the second half.
Do you think these Lady Vols can go for it, even with Isabel out? Even with
this is the thing. I've always been like, they needed something to drive them, and I think without Izzy there, they want this so bad for her that will be a driving force for them.
It's only so much you can drive when you're going against that South Carolina. They're good.
I know.
Captain. They are good.
I know they're good, but I still think that they're going to get pretty far in the tournament.
Well, at the end of the day, they're co-SEC regular season champs.
Right.
They got to the finals.
They did end up getting that. That's
good. They'll probably be a 2 seed if they can get to that bracket with the number 1 seed Maryland. They're 2 seed in that bracket, they might actually have a chance because Maryland's one of the lower number 1 seeds.
I was going to say, if you want to be in it with someone, you want to be in it with Maryland.
You want to be in that with
Maryland.
That's
a good point. Yeah.
Well,
lots to look forward to, including when we get back, we're going to talk all about March Madness. So we'll be right back after this break.
My favorite part about being involved and being a part of the Vol family is that we're one Tennessee.
Being from Tennessee and being able to go to school at the University of Tennessee was an honor for me.
My scholarship means so much to me. It's really a blessing.
My message to the Tennessee Fund donors would be just to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to pursue my dreams.
We appreciate everything that you guys do for us.
Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me and my teammates.
Vol fans, there's one penalty that is not reviewable.
Where's your orange? It's Friday. And you're not wearing orange. You gonna really come out here with no orange on?
Do not forget to support your Vols by wearing your orange on Fridays.
Got to be kidding me.
Show us your orange and avoid getting a penalty flag thrown your way on Big Orange Friday.
Come on, man.
Big orange is our color. Big ideas feed the fire of the volunteer. When you see 16 million colors on a computer screen, understand a Tennessee graduate helped put them there. A Tennessee graduate made it possible for you to hold a conversation with a satellite in the palm of your hand. Our ideas touch your life in ways you can't imagine. Orange is simply a color. Big Orange is a way of life.
The University of Tennessee. Big Orange, big ideas.
All right, Alfred. Now I know you've been waiting for this time of year for a very, very long time.
You know how
it is March Madness Try to contain your excitement.
Wow.
We actually have our own Malcolm Harris in at the sports desk, and we're going to be throwing it. Hello, Malcolm. How are you? We're going to be throwing it back and forth and just kind of having a conversation about what's going to happen. So this isn't necessarily about the tournament, but let's talk about perhaps the biggest rivalry in college basketball that happened. We're talking Duke and UNC. What's up, Malcolm? What did you see from that game?
I saw one thing, and I saw one thing only. I saw a superstar in the making in Tyus Jones. This kid is fantastic. He is the future of Duke basketball, and I hope he stays for a very long time because, Coach K, he needs that reliable source. And Jahlil Okafor, that is a man. It's not a game anymore. Jahlil Okafor is the future first-round pick, the first overall pick in the NBA draft this upcoming season. So it's Duke. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing in the tournament. I think they're going to make some noise. So. All
right, Alfred. So let's have you expand on
Malcolm's
thinking.
I can't look too far into that game, Captain, because on the rivalry it was a good game, and granted we've had two classic Duke UNC games this year. But I mean, to be honest with you, North Carolina's not that good. To me, I expected Duke to come out and get those victories, but I have to agree with Malcolm. Jahlil Okafor is the #1 pick in the draft. There are no questions about that. That guy is a man. When he walks into the NBA, he's one of the top 3-4 centers in the game right now. He's just that good. He has moves. He has quickness. This guy is the total package. Now, Jones, on the other hand, I'm not so sure about him. I think he's a work in progress. I think you kind of cover up his flaws because he has so many good pieces, a la the Winslows, the Okafors around him. So I'm really not so sure how good Jones is. That's what I got.
That's very interesting. Those games are always exciting to watch, though. Granted, about how far they're ranked, just because of the history and just the fans. So let's move on to maybe a Cinderella team. Obviously, it's March Madness, so anything can happen. I always root for the Cinderella teams. I'm all about the underdog. One thing to mention real quickly before I let Malcolm put in his 2 cents is Belmont and Rick Byrd. They beat Murray State in the Ohio Valley Conference. We're thinking that they're probably going to be maybe a 15 seed. Now, that would be maybe one Cinderella team possibly.
They're scary, though. That's a good team that Belmont has.
I agree. Yeah. But let's throw it over to Malcolm and see who he has for a potential Cinderella team.
My Cinderella team is located in Waco, Texas. I'm going with the Baylor Bears. Rico Gathers. He's not a household name like your Frank Kaminsky's of Wisconsin or your Willie Cauley-Steins in Kentucky, but Baylor is just a defensive force, and I feel that Mr. Gathers is going to definitely turn it on when it comes to the tournament. So,
I think it's disrespectful that you didn't bring up Northern Iowa, Malcolm. Northern Iowa can win this tournament. Granted, you can't really call them a Cinderella team because they're number 10 in the country, but they don't play in one of the better conferences. But I'm telling y'all, Shy Tuttle. Tuttle, whatever his name is. That's not the last time you'll hear this guy's name. That guy has moves. That guy can work you on the post. That guy will be around in the future. You can expect him to be a lottery pick as well. I like Northern Iowa to make a little noise in the tournament. Okay. It's a lot of teams out there. There's so many good games we had. Belmont actually won by a buzzer beater 3 just to, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Now, it's kind of talking about the opposite of that. We've got the Cinderella teams who make it further than you think they are going to. Who do you think is going to be an upset in the first round? Just throw some names out there.
I mean, if Kansas can't get their act together, they got so many injuries going on. Cliff Alexander, you don't know about his eligibility status. Perry Ellis is down with an injury right now. Yep. If Kansas, and I like Kansas actually, but if they can't get their situation, get some of those big men back in, you could see them possibly being eliminated in the first round.
Right, and some of them are projecting to that Belmont is actually going to be playing Kansas, so that would be really interesting to see.
There's so much time in between.
Yeah, there is a lot of time in between, but I was reading up on some things, and they're thinking that might be a possibility. So, Malcolm, what about you?
Well, for the first time, I actually agree with Mr. Alfred Telefero. I mean, he's a smart man sometimes, but we're going to go Kansas. I don't like them as a team, and I feel like the Big 12 is really deep with teams such as Texas and Iowa State, and they're just not coming together. And that Perry Jones injury, it's really going to hurt them down low. So I'm looking for Kansas to be upset. They said a 15 seed is going to be, I believe, North Carolina Central. And my grandmother went there, and she's going to kill me if I didn't pick them. So I'm going to go Kansas with the L. So.
All right, Malcolm, we understand sticking with your family roots. But perhaps maybe the most talked about question Is Kentucky going to pull this off?
Swing it to Malcolm.
All right, Malcolm, you go first. Alfred doesn't even want to bother with that.
Well,
Let's see what
Mr. Telefero, what color is this handkerchief right here? It's that Kentucky blue. Ladies and gentlemen, they are going to do it. Kentucky will be an undefeated national champion by the end of the year. You have such a deep team. You have 2 starting fives, arguably the best player in college basketball, and Willie Cauley-Stein. If nobody can stop, I said it. Willie Cauley-Stein is the man.
All right, let's hear from Mr. Talifero, and then I want to put my 2 cents too, but you first.
Malcolm Harris. Now, I've never been one to question your basketball acumen. I know you know your stuff. But how dare you say Willie Cauley-Stein is a top player in the country? Now, you're going to say Karl Anthony Towns is one of those top players in the country. I'll give you that. But how dare you say Willie Cauley-Stein is one of the top players in the country? Granted, he'll do work. He'll get your putbacks. He'll get your rebounds. But no. And furthermore, that Kentucky team, they can't win it all. You want to know why? They're young. Granted, with all this being said, and they're good, don't get me wrong.
So you think they're going to choke?
You're 31-0. You haven't lost a game yet. This team has not faced enough adversity in the SEC. They're going to lose a game. There's so many good teams in college basketball. I cannot see, and I'm not taking anything away from Kentucky. We've seen them firsthand here, and they destroyed Tennessee. But I cannot see this team going undefeated. There's too many players. You know, who do you go to down the stretch with all these players? Aaron Harrison, you know, he can make shots. We've seen that last year in the tournament, but I don't think they have enough pieces.
Okay, this would be my thing, is that I kind of agree with you, Malcolm. I think that they could end up winning it all, but I don't know if they're going to do it as an undefeated team, and here is why. This SEC tournament doesn't really matter to them. So there is a possibility that they just might throw a game and just move on in. I'm just saying it doesn't matter to them.
And Coach Calipari, you know, he's been on record of saying he'll lay an egg.
Right.
To make sure this team is ready for the tournament.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think it would actually be better for them if they did that, because going in with that pressure will kill them because they are young.
But who's going to beat them? And I mean, outside of LSU, they've given them, Texas A&M took them to overtime. There's nobody in our conference that's shown us any.
Right, but if Kentucky chooses to take a step back, it's a completely different. It's a completely different ballgame.
Let me ask you this. On talent alone, you don't think this team has enough just to get over the top in the SEC tournament? On talent alone?
No. Talent alone, I think they can take it. I think if it's a decision by the coaches. That's why I say. Malcolm, I'm going to let you get in one more word before we change topics real quick.
Talent alone, they are by far, they are the most talented team in the SEC. There's no comparison. I mean, I would honestly take their second starting unit over our first starting unit here at Tennessee. That's how confident I am in Kentucky. But I honestly got to go with Big Blue Nation. So we'll see. But, you know,
all right.
I'm going with them.
Not going to argue that taking that second team over our first team, I'm not going to lie, outside of Josh Richardson. They've given us nothing this year. I'm not going to argue that, Malcolm. As much as I want to argue with you, they haven't given us much.
That's a good point. Very good discussion. Thank you, Malcolm. We enjoyed having you on here. Let's transition and just kind of maybe talk about some national topics.
Sure.
NBA. Let's talk about your man, Mr. Westbrook.
One of 2 players in NBA history joining Oscar Robertson to have 200 points, 50 rebounds, and 50 assists in a 5-game stretch. He is lighting
He's
NBA
killing it with those triple doubles.
Captain, this guy is trying to go for that MVP. I don't know if it's too late. I still got Harden, still got Curry at the top of that MVP race.
I don't know if anyone can pull it off. If anyone can pull it off, it's Westbrook.
It'll be Westbrook.
Oh yeah.
You see, the thing is, if he's going for that MVP, he's actually rooting for Durant to stay injured because he's not going to get as many shots.
I want the focus on me. That's true.
But then that would mean they would have an MVP for the second straight year in OKC, and I don't see that happening. And Harden's been doing it without Dwight Howard for the majority of the season.
That's a good point.
I don't think that he can. But Westbrook is playing like the best point guard. His pull-up mid-range jump shot is unguardable, Captain. Unguardable.
You're right. It's unguardable, and it's the go-to shot. It's so dependable. When they don't have anything else open, they just give it to him and let him take it.
I mean, he's not getting those little small 10, 10, and 10 triple-doubles. He's going 43,
he's going,
50, 10,
He's
15.
blowing them out of the water. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. You know, Westbrook, if you got a little brother, send him to Tennessee. We can use him right now.
That's right.
Let's leave basketball and let's go into the NFL. You know, this is supposed to be basketball time of the year, but this NFL free agent / offseason frenzy.
So much has been happening. That is all people are talking about. Yes. It's ridiculous. You've got Sue going to Miami. Okay, he has a 6-year contract, and he's guaranteed, $60 million.
He deserves it.
What do you do with all that? What do you do with all that money?
Don't throw that disrespect.
I'm not
disrespecting
him.
Like he
I'm
hasn't
just
been
saying,
a powerhouse in the NFL for the last 5 years.
I'm just saying that's a lot of money, okay? That's a lot of money.
Granted, he hasn't been the best leader in the past.
No, he hasn't. He gets in trouble a lot. So that was a risky pick, Miami, just so you know.
On the field, he commands 2. Malcolm, if he was here, he would agree with me. He commands 2, possibly 3 offensive linemen, whatever you have it, as soon as he's on the field. He's that big of a difference maker on the field.
I'm not saying that he's not a playmaker and makes a difference. I'm just saying that's a ridiculous amount of money. And he's gotten in trouble in the past, and he gets suspended a lot and fined a lot.
So what?
And
He likes to step on guys. He likes to step on people.
Yeah, and that's not okay. All right, so let's talk about a couple of other people before we wrap up the show. Jimmy Graham, obviously, going to Seattle. Big news. And good old Revis on Revis Island.
Revis Island, now going home. That's what he said on his Twitter, going back to the Jets.
That's right.
That's big.
That is big.
Got that $39 million guaranteed in the first 3 years of that deal.
Who's going to turn that money down? I don't blame him.
Captain, the smartest NFL player I've ever seen, honestly. The way he betted on himself. He didn't take a guaranteed contract with Tampa Bay or with the Patriots last season. Betted on himself and actually didn't get injured and actually got his money.
Right.
But I got to ask you about this, Captain, before we get out of here. We got to wrap it up.
Oh, no.
Chip Kelly and these Eagles, what is he doing
I
out
have
here?
no idea. It's like he's playing Madden or something. Like, it's just.
Having the time of his life.
I guess. I don't know. Obviously, McCoy's
in
out
Buffalo.
of there.
You got Deshaun Jackson a year ago. Macklin's with Kansas City.
I really don't know what to say. I'm not really sure what his end goal here is. But we'll see the whole situation with the Eagles, how that plays out, I guess.
Injured Sam Bradford's now your starting quarterback who's got a torn ACL.
Not sure how that's going to go.
Come on, Chip, get it together.
We'll see. Also, one last thing we just want to throw in. Our boy, Peyton Manning, taking a $5 million pay cut to stay in Denver, unless, my friends, he wins the Super Bowl, which we will see.
Yeah, I wish, if this is Peyton's last year or so, maybe they might give Tim Tebow a call and give him the starting job.
I read an article that he's thinking about making a return to the NFL. So maybe
someone,
maybe
the
the Eagles could give him a call or something.
The SEC network is good. I love Tebow in that seat. I don't like him with throwing the ball.
We just want him to do what makes him happy.
Good luck, Tim Tebow.
Well, that's it for our show. I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
I actually had a really good time.
I felt like we were flowing pretty well.
Flowing pretty
we're
good
back.
Today.
But we thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.